Hello, guys, and welcome back to the third episode of my Puhon podcast. This is Sebastian, and I'm just super duper excited to finally be starting again another episode of this Puhon podcast. And yeah, before that, I would just wanted to drop a quick update of how my day has been. And it's actually been a great day, mostly tiring, but in a way, it was also fun. But I feel like I'm too close to the camera. I might move out farther if you're watching this from YouTube. Okay, guys, so I am back. So today has actually been a great day for me, to be honest. I did not actually do much, basically just because I've finished a lot of requirements already during the weekdays. Today is a Saturday, by the way, the 17th of April. So yeah, before jumping into the main topic of today's episode, I just also wanted to thank you guys for the overwhelming support that you've given as soon as I launched this Puhon podcast, because I basically filmed the second of my Puhon podcast way before I even launched the podcast itself. In other words, the first episode of my podcast. So basically, when I shot my second episode, I did not think you guys there yet, just because I didn't know how you guys would respond to it, if ever you'd like it or not. But given that this is my third episode that I'm recording already, and I have already launched my first ever podcast episode like a week ago or two, and the support that you've been giving me and the feedback like super duper keeps me grounded, and it just super duper keeps me motivated, most especially in trying times like this. What I like doing is distracting myself, because it's kind of hard to just focus on the problems. So I just also want to have a bit of positivity, but not in a way that it would turn into toxic positivity kind of thing. So I stray away from that. So yep, that's that. And also a few days ago, I also got my hair cut. That's why my hair is notably shorter now. If you are watching this from YouTube, you would see the very big difference. So for today's podcast episode, we would be talking about self-confidence, how we can embrace our insecurities, flaws, all that shebang. I know a lot of podcasts already focus on this topic, but I also wanted to say my insight about it. So I don't know, just so that a lot of you guys have a lot of views as to this certain topic. And yeah, before that, I'd also want to dive in that this topic is like super duper related to me right now, just because it's been a while since the last time that I had my breakout. And by breakout, I mean like acne and all that. And just recently, I had like the worst breakout of my life. Yeah, I feel like it is the worst breakout of my life, though it isn't much noticeable in camera right now, but there have been worse days. Like, I've seen worse days, man, most especially last week. Like, my face was just filled with pimples, and I felt like disgusted with how I looked like. And that is why I also am not posting selfies in my Instagram stories and all that, just because I do not feel that confident. That's why that's what I'm trying to break today. I'm trying to be more confident today or tonight through talking out my issues with my self-confidence or my body or my physical appearance. Too often, though, people associate the word confidence with physical appearance, but I feel like confidence goes more than just your physical appearance. It goes beyond just the physical aspects of a person. Some people could also be confident with their personalities, their humor, their style, and not just their face, how they dress and all that. You know, I feel like confidence is like a super multi-dimensional thing. It is just as abstract as love, because I feel like in a way we could also connect confidence with self-love. I feel like confidence is a thing that is very hard to balance, because once you have too much confidence, you have this tendency to slip to the waves of narcissism. And once you have just a tiny bit of that confidence, you tend to find yourself in this pattern of self-deprecatory manner, which is not good to yourself at all. It will already eventually tire you as a person. I feel like for a while that's what I've been battling with, the process of self-deprecation, because through the years I've always told jokes about myself, like how I looked like and all that, and I feel like it is ingrained deeply in my humor that it affected a lot of relationships with my friends. And it is something that I would not want to even carry onto the future relationships that I'm yet to have, be it friendships or like the romantic relationships. I feel like when I hear the word relationship, most people often just associate it with the romantic side of it and not consider that friendship is also a relationship that we need to truly, truly take care of. Just dropping that quick side subject matter out there. So yeah, back to what I was telling a while ago. My confidence before was like super duper low, though it was not noticeable because I was the type of person who was like always smiling, always like living like the best days of his life. But basically, deep down, there is that self-deprecation process that not a lot of people know about. And it is deeply ingrained in my humor, like what I've said a while ago. That's why I feel like people just see it as something normal, that it is something that is just a part of me in a way. And I feel like I haven't noticed that problem until recently. And so I've been trying to develop more self-love through the confidence thing that I'm talking about today. However, of course, self-love could not only be founded from this confidence thing, but it is a great factor into growing that self-love that you have for yourself, obviously. And yeah, to be honest, even up to this day, I feel like there are times where I slip into that process of self-deprecation, but I feel like I try my best to stray away from that. I know sometimes there are still nights, days that I still fall into that loop, but I've seen worse days, man. It is something that I'm quite proud of, if I may say so myself. It is not the longest journey that I've gone through, to be honest, because I've only started building my confidence, like super focused on it lately, just because I had more time now, given that we're just inside our homes and all that. So basically, that's one of the things that I've been up to this quarantine. Okay, so going on to the things that we can do to strengthen or to further just grow into the process of self-confidence is the fact that, as cliche as it may sound, we just need to embrace our flaws and imperfections and know that we can never strive for perfection. Because again, as cliche as this one might sound, perfection is just boring. You know, like for example, in a plain wall, would you be more interested in the one that's like all polished, plain, or to the one that's more textured? I feel like it depends per person. So basically what I said a while ago was not true at all. But basically I feel like a lot of people also see beauty in things that aren't deemed as perfect as per the stereotyped definition of perfect that the society has carefully handcrafted for people to fit in, which is not friendly in the long run at all. Not even in the long run, like it is just not friendly, you know, to have this, that, and all that shebang all in a natural process without having to sacrifice your authentic beauty. I feel like it's just something that is not attainable. That's why I've learned how to just embrace who I really am and to, you know, just be confident in it. I don't know, it is easier said than done, because even though I feel like you've already mastered or you're like getting there, you know, and embracing who you really are and strengthening fully your self-confidence, just a negative comment from a person could like make you go back to square one. And that is also a proof of how words can have the power to either make or break you in a way. Because even though you feel like you're already in the pinnacle of this self-confidence process that we're talking about today, but a person would say, oh, why are you wearing that when you have the body type that is not ideal to wear that kind of shirt or to wear the kind of clothing? Of course it will hurt you, of course it will suck. But to be able to shut those negativities down and to not listen to people's feedback, as long as what you're doing is not derogatory to another person's life, is just a thing that I want to achieve in life or that I want to be able to do someday, because I feel like for the past years I've been too dependent on what others say about me, to the extent that that's where I see my self-worth, which is not good at all, because in a way I feel like the idea that I have of myself was now not my view of who I am. My view was kind of like morphed into what others think I am, thus making me see myself from the third person point of view, which is not good at all, because you would also want to, in a way, be connected to yourself. I mean, there is nothing wrong with listening to other people's feedback. Of course, you'd also be needing those to not be this self-indulgent type of person, but you would not want to rely on them too much. You know, it is, again, like what I've said a while ago, it is a thing that is hard to balance, because in self-worth, for example, if you just focus on yourself too much, how would you know what to improve if the only things that you see in yourself are the ones that are good? Because, you know, once you focus too much on what others want from you or what others see you as, isn't that the point where you just begin to live or exist just to satisfy what they want from you? Like, it is a question that we need to always think about, because you are here for you. It isn't that selfish to also live for yourself every once in a while, or to just buy this dress, for example, just because you want to, and you can wear it. You can wear whatever you want to. And I feel like throughout my whole experience in my journey in here in life in general, I feel like no matter what you do, people will always have something to say about you. So I feel like make the best out of it. I know this sounds like a Tumblr quote wherein you have that script font and that sunset background, but you know, you should just make the best of what you have while you're still here, while you're in this moment, feeling confident about yourself. Just do not mind what others are telling about you, because, you know, at the end of the day, all of us have insecurities, and some people just have this tendency to focus and redirect their frustrations on themselves onto other people's imperfections by pointing out those to them and making them feel bad about themselves, when in fact having imperfection is just as normal as breathing. You know, it is something that is normal. I cannot think for words other than normal, but yeah, imperfections are just in a way inevitable, I feel like. And it is something that we need to embrace as well, because again, this is so cliche, but it is what makes us who we are by the end of the day, if you really look into it. And the sooner we accept our imperfections and our flaws, I feel like the sooner that we'd also be able to master more the art of self-confidence. Because like what I've said a while ago, the process of self-confidence, or any process life could be associated with in the first place, is a cycle that never ends. But it just depends on us on whether we go upwards, downwards, but hopefully on the end of our journey we would end onto the peak, I feel like, or if not peak, at least in a place where there is a noticeable elevation as compared to where we used to be before. Even up to this day, I feel like I am not confident. You know, this just goes to show how society has always had this unrealistic standards for its people. And society should be there for its people, but why does it feel like the people that are in it are setting this unrealistic standards to have this circus of hierarchy, and whoever is considered to be the most beautiful face in the world, you know, it is a stereotype, I feel like. That's why I get happy whenever I see people who challenge such issues like colorism or our plus size models and all that. You know, yes, these may seem like small steps, but these are the steps that we need to do to make the big leap toward a more inclusive society in the future. And I feel like at this point in time, we had just reached the point where we are more accepting of other types of beauty more than ever. And that just makes me super duper happy, because then we're not just focused on Eurocentric beauties and all that, which has always been like the basis of what beauty should look like. But yeah, long story short, do whatever makes you happy, and if ever you feel confident wearing this, or if you feel confident in this hair color, if you feel confident doing this, doing that, yada yada yada, just do it, because you aren't existing at this point in time, at this very moment, just to adhere as to what people would want to see from you. You are here for yourself, and that is not selfish. However, yes, like what I've said a while ago, in pursuing the process of attaining the ultimate goal of self-confidence, may we not shame people who are still starting this process when you feel like you've already reached the pinnacle of it. Because that's where we all begin. We all begin with nothing, or with a little amount of confidence. So, just empower these people and not really shame them. Not because you are quote unquote fat, you cannot wear crop tops anymore. If you feel good in that, just wear it. It would hurt nobody, to be honest. And it is just something that I've been noticing for the past months, most especially that we are in this quarantine setup where people could be like on the internet whole day searching or scrolling through other people's Instagram feeds, for example, and then you would not want to comment that doesn't look good on you just because you're not vibing with it. Because at the end of the day, I feel like we all just have our imperfections, like what I've said a while ago. And I feel like if we just celebrate those more, this world it would just be a wonderful world to live in, to be honest. Like, that just sounds super duper cheesy, by the way. But what an idea it is for people to not judge others just based off their physical appearance. I mean, all of us, I'm pretty sure, had that phase wherein we were super duper judgmental of people, but I'm just super duper happy that I've grown out of that already, and I'm just happy that I'm able to empower more people now. If I may say so myself, I might not be as vocal about it as how I'm doing it in this podcast episode, but I support people feeling good about themselves. Basically, I feel like that would just be it for now. I think like I was not able to cover a lot of things, but yeah, maybe this podcast is not the one that would share you steps on how you could be more confident, but probably this podcast goes to the bashers out there to just open their eyes that their words really do have powers, and that these words are like really life-changing. So why not use it for the better? I mean, I know that there is this fine line between, for example, when you're breaking out, when people are like pointing that out and are genuinely concerned, wherein they tell you steps on how your skin might get better. I super appreciate those, but those who tell me that, why is your face like that? Like, so ugly, I don't want to look at you anymore. That's a type where I would be like, oof. There's like an oof energy in there. But yeah, basically I feel like there is a fine line also between empowering people through giving suggestions and flat out just shaming them. This is why my tagline in YouTube videos has also been spread love a little more often, because I feel like that's the thing that our world has been lacking in lately. And I just wanted to be that portrait of positivity, even though I am not the type of person who's always positive, most especially with regards to myself. I still have the negative or toxic traits that I have with myself, but I'm just trying to fix that. That way I could also be better to other people and to my friends, and to not lose more friends in the process of pursuing life in general. I feel like I've been all over the place for this podcast episode as well, and I'm super duper sorry about that. But yeah, today is a Saturday, by the way, and I thought of just resting for today, but I just decided to shoot just because we have our immersion next week, and I feel like I would already have no time by then to film a podcast episode or any YouTube video, just to be specific. And yeah, I just decided to shoot tonight. Hashtag overworked. But let's just cover that up with the term proper time management, because that's what people mean whenever they say you should just have proper time management. That just directly translates to just overwork, kids. So, yeah, that will basically just be it for this podcast episode. And of course, guys, this is not related to the topic at all, but please do take care of yourselves and please take short breaks every now and then, most especially if you are a student who is in online classes, just like I am. And yeah, this has been Sebastian, and I hope that we could spread love a little more often. And I'll see you on the 4th episode of my podcast. I'm just super duper excited to film more podcast episodes with you guys. And yeah, if you have some podcast topic suggestions, just feel free to comment it below if you are from my YouTube channel, and if you are from Spotify, all of the links in my social media platforms would be up in the description box as well. So make sure to check those out if you'd want to directly message me on what topics you'd want me to talk about for the future podcast episodes. So yeah, again, thank you so much, guys, and please stay safe, and I'll see you till the next podcast episode. Stay safe.